And that is the kind of thing that you get to see and experience if you're close to a barracks. You go to the square, you feel it. Tension, standard tees, quick march. Salute. Characteristic with policemen, prisons officers, military, fire service, all the paramilitary organizations. But there's been a Konkonsah police probe, as you don't know. An attempt by 3 senior police officers in collaboration with a politician to oust the current Inspector General of Police, Dr. George Akufu Dampare, COP retired Alex Mensah, Superintendent JB, and Superintendent Asari caught on tape along with Bogri Nabu of the NPP doing the devil's work, not the Lord's work. Well, Parliament sat, there was a bipartisan probe because of the hue and cry in the public. It was televised live on television. Well, now we do have a report. But the report, strangely, was not signed by the chairman of the committee, Lawyer Atacha. You will connect to Adam BONAA in a bit. It's 5 minutes after 9, but listen to excerpts of the probe.
On tape, everything he came to say here, on video, in his office, the same office. His relationship with IGP and contracts, 40,000 boots contracts.
My brother, you were very good and said you speak in camera. Have you forgotten yourself?
Yes.
Ask you a very simple question. Whether you appear before the
Honorable Chair, sorry.
Okay.
Honorable Chair, I'm
all right.
Sorry.
The chairman of the committee.
So that was Superintendent. Was not too happy about the turn of events. Here's COP Mensah. Listen to him.
COP, have you ever sent your CV to Chief Nabu?
My CV was given to somebody
FM
who
92.7.
Bugre Nabu sent to come and collect for me.
What was the purpose for it? Was it for him to secure a job for you, or to do what?
The purpose was for him to go and lobby for me.
To become the IGP, is that not correct?
Yes.
And it failed.
Pardon me?
3
And it
FM
failed.
92.7.
Yes. The lobbying didn't work. He wasn't successful.
Of course.
Okay.
And that's not the first time lobbies have failed. Because we started lobbying from 2017 to become IGP. Yes.
Lobbying.
3 FM.
I said some of us started lobbying.
92.7.
Not now.
You?
Long time, yes.
You were commissioner in 2017?
I wasn't. Maybe I have to tell that it's not only commissioners who are appointed as IGPs.
You mean
from the rank of assistant commissioner to commissioner, anybody can be appointed as IGP?
No, but you'd agree with me that they would normally promote you to the next rank. They could do that again, but they would not. You will not be leapfrogged. Let's say you jump one position, and is it common?
It is.
Well, that was COP Alex Mensah there on the phone line. Joining us now is Dr. Adam BONAA. He is a security and safety analyst and is with Security Warehouse. Dr. BONAA, good morning. Thank you very much for your time.
Good morning, and thank you for having me, Johnny.
Dr. BONAA, your first thoughts when you saw the report, what ran through your mind?
Well, Johnny, good morning to your listeners. I wasn't surprised when I saw the report. Obviously, Media General, one of the biggest, if not the biggest in the country, you televise this live,
right?
Proceedings in Parliament, and we watched it on your networks. And so, as far as I am concerned, when I saw the report, I was never surprised because then when the proceedings were ongoing, I made my own notes. And so by the time they were done, I put together my own summary report. And my report I had was not so different from this. So if you remember, while the proceedings were ongoing, we had various discussions on your television networks and radio. And I made such recommendations. I said that from the way things are going, some persons must be indicted and professional misconduct and all that. And truly, all that has found its way, it's there. And I will say that as for the facts, you cannot hide the facts. Once the facts are there, anyone who wants to be sincere would say that, well, on the face of it, this is it, unless there is something else that anyone can bring to disprove what the facts are. And so I am happy that the report has been out and indicted COP Alex Mensah, indicted the two others, JB and then Superintendent Asari, and the two Superintendent Asari and JB have further also been cited for perjury. And you know perjury is criminal in our statutes.
That's right.
So I want to see a situation where Parliament would descend heavily on them to use them as an example. And you know the reason for which they came together to do this, just so that they can get a certain mafia called, allegedly, to do mafia, led by COP Alex Mensah, to rig the election on behalf of a party. But you see the report, there are two MPP reps. One of them is now a cabinet minister. Actually signed the report. BONAA also signed. It means that they disagree with these people who said they should be made IGP so they can break the A4.
Now, the chairman of the committee, Lawyer Tachia, did not sign the report as far as what we have is concerned. Are you equally concerned, surprised, worried? What are you?
I'm not surprised he didn't sign. You know, if you go, I spoke to TV3 and I spoke to, I think, your 3 FM, and I think I spoke to your media houses and other media houses. And if you Google, you'll see me saying Atachia is so biased. The first day Alex Mensah appeared there, you are there to do a probe. And you can see the way he was patronizing, what you call him, COP Alex Mensah, actually telling him if he had the power, he would give him scholarship to go and study and do PhD or do something like that. That is not why you were there, to patronize him, but he was doing all that. Subsequently, you can see his line of questioning. Even at a point when COP Alex Mensah was about confirming that he was a party member of the MPP and was a card-bearing member. You remember the utterances from Atachia. Go back and look at the video.
Right.
Atachia actually said, hey, I will not let you say that. He is not there to direct people. He's not the counsel to Alex Mensah. But he did all that in the view of the camera, in the view of the public, that he shouldn't answer because there are consequences if he answers. But eventually, we know what happened. The man lied that, so eventually he didn't answer that question, but he went and stood for MP the moment he left the service.
Right.
He went and tried to be a parliamentary candidate and lost. But let me answer the question.
In fact, before that, he had granted an interview, which tape I have, which I'd play, suggesting and saying that he's been a card-bearing member of the MPP and he has supported the MPP in many different projects.
Thank you. And you see, further indicting himself with impunity. You know your service regulation does not allow you to do what you did. But he did that and came out to say it. And he's a lawyer, so-called. He's supposed to know. But he did that and came out to say that. And to him, he was to say that to galvanize votes for him. But he lost miserably. Thankfully, the people voted massively against him. Mine is that Atachia not signing is inconsequential. It's not his way. He not signing. If you look at their standing orders.
Right.
If you are a chairman, you only have a casting ballot.
Right.
Or votes, a casting ballot.
Right.
What it means is that when there is a tie, then you come in to separate it. And so for him not signing does not invalidate anything. You can see it's a unanimous decision by the committee members and also authenticated by the clerk to the special committee, Janet something. The name is there, Janet something.
Right.
She also signed it to say that this represents the truth of what happened.
Right.
In fact, factual. So he not signing does not invalidate it. It's just like saying that, but I mean, some of us here that midway, I think he even left the committee. I'm not too sure, but midway. So mine is that I'm not surprised he did not sign it. But like the president said, we are supposed to be citizens and not spectators.
I see.
And we are playing our citizenry role. And so it was laid on Friday. I have heard from other authors that it is yet to be laid. It was laid on it. It's been on the other papers about 2 weeks ago. It was laid on. It was distributed to all the MPs. My MP has a copy. And if we had a proper parliamentary structure, the MPs are supposed to come and talk to us, the constituents, that this report has to do with election. Someone wanting to steal for some a party. What do you people have to say? For us to say, when you go, this is what we expect you to go and add. Make sure it's punished severely. So the thing is in the public domain, and we must discuss it. And so as far as I'm concerned, Atachia not signing does not do anything. It rather makes him, Atachia, look very bad, because today, if Atachia is leaving Parliament, if Atachia applies for any position at the UN, at the AU, at ECOWAS, some of us will use this and petition whichever organization to say he's incompetent. He should not be given the position. And the simple reason is that I have chaired committees of national nature. And when you chair these committees, Johnny, sometimes you have a strong view as a chairman that your committee members would disagree with every pint of blood in them and say no. And once you put it to vote and you lose, you go with the majority. You don't step aside and say, okay, I won't do this, I won't do that. No, you don't do that. But that is what exactly he did. And so tomorrow, if he puts himself up for any position, apart from this parliament is living. You think some of us, who must be citizens and not spectators, we will sit for him to say he wants to do this, because we know the right honorable Speaker of Parliament. There are times, even NDC MPs, I won't mention names, have been furious and mentioned his name in a manner that probably, but it is because to him, whilst he's pretending over Parliament, he's supposed to be fair and ensure that everybody's view is adhered to. You put it to vote, whoever wins. You say this has won, but he said no. And so mine is that he rather look, what he has done makes him now look very bad.
I hear you. Doc, the name you're looking for is Miss Janet Frimpong. She's the clerk of the Special Committee of Parliament.
Thank you. She signed it.
Right. Now,
you think that she would have signed it if it didn't look right? She signed it, yes.
So the committee has recommended to the House to adopt its report on the inquiry into the content of a leaked audio tape of a high-ranking police officer and others in an alleged conspiracy to remove from the office current Inspector General of Police Dr. Akufo Dampare and related matters. But Dr. BONAA, largely, it places a certain burden on the president on the next step. Parliament, yes. The police service, yes, in terms of the reforms, but it places a big burden at the doorstep of the president. Do you think the president will act?
Oh, you know, the president is not the president for life. He's not the president for life. So, but I want to believe that I will give him the benefit of the doubt. I have had a lot of people call me to say, hey, the president is not going to act on it. And I said, well, I want to believe that just as the members of parliament on the MPP side, who thought that what these officers did was reprehensible and despicable, and therefore they don't support it. I believe the president equally doesn't support such impunity, and so the president would ensure that they are punished severely. But I do also know that some way, somehow, the Speaker of Parliament would have to give a report to the police, and I'm expecting that the police themselves would have to start their own service inquiry, internal inquiry. These people must be put through the police service inquiry, because then it cannot just be the usual wishy-washy. Those who are caught in this state must be punished. And I must also say, I don't know whether you are aware of a portion of the tape that hasn't come out. That has to do with Mami Atiwa and Commissioner Ernest. I think I'm told it's Commissioner Ernest Insia.
Okay.
The two of them are also on the same tape, but that never came out. And when Bugri Nabu asked that, apart from Alex Mensah, who these people are gunning for to be IGP, whether Mami Atiwa, whether there are two commissions, and Asari and the rest of them who were in the meeting said, yes, Mami Atiwa and Ernest. And when I wanted to know who the Ernest is. I don't know the person. But they said the person is one and a sincere, so I don't know whether it was a commission, I don't know. So mine is that these two other officers, because theirs probably didn't come out that clearly, it didn't play out, they were never invited to the committee to come and say, yes, we are also trying to undo the IGP or not. So you can see, you know, even though these people were caught and the report is out, maybe there are others who are also still undermining the IGP to remove them. And I know as we speak, Johnny, you are Ghana Dangbe. You are proud Ghana Dangbe. I more or less Ghana Dangbe too. I say that, can you imagine we have Ashanti Police Officers Association? I'm waiting to see Ghana Dangbe Police Officers Association. I'm waiting to see all of this association, this sectionalism and factionalism in the police service and the military and the rest. So that one day when they disagree, when this tribe disagree with this tribe in the same service, they will cock their rifles against one another and probably do the unthinkable. But this is happening today. And my sources indicate that Mami Yatiwa, she has formed this association, and if you go on the internet, you will see they did a donation to the palace,
right.
the Royal Majesty's Palace.
As indigenous of Ashanti, is it wrong?
No, it is not wrong. But when there is a reason why. There's a reason why police officers cannot go on demonstration.
Right.
There's a reason why military officers, mine is that it is because of the nature of their work. And I just told you, can you imagine you have tribe on tribe? Ghana Dangbe disagreeing with the Dagatis or the Dagbon people.
Right.
The Dagbon people say that maybe when Pokwe, my good friend, a retired police IGP Pokwe was my good friend, who was a Ghana Dangbe. When Pokwe was there, then police officers from the Ghana Dangbe session say that, or those from the other side, another tribe say that they are being maltreated because it is a Ghana Dangbe IGP. Then you have the Ghana Dangbe police officers supporting him, and they cut their rifles out. You see, you, Johnny, you know, your dad was a senior officer in the service, in one of the services.
Right.
You know the essence of this. And you see, let's not probably belittle it and say what is wrong. What is wrong is that if police officers or military officers cannot go on demonstration, then what is wrong is that if it goes in and things to do with tribe, you know when you go to Baku today, today you hear they send some officer, who is this, who is that, belonging to one tribe.
Right.
And before you see, now there is fire. So mine is that I am told that these two other people, Mami Atiwa and probably others, are still lobbying. And this Saturday, reliably informed that they were at Menchia.
Doing what?
What for? We should be asking, we should be interrogating. I'm not saying they cannot visit, but mine is that as a policy, those who are listening and have the power to act should put in it, the parliament should act and say, associations in these security services, these are people who are armed. Association in these services should not be something that should be encouraged.
I hear
Association in these services shouldn't be encouraged. They went there this weekend or so. What did they go there for? A private meeting. And almost immediately we had a letter, a fake letter coming out from a daily guy who are approbating and reprobating today. They did a fake news, and the man himself, the owner, is in court that for defamation. And so mine is that how do you approbate and reprobate? You publish fake news. We haven't dealt with you yet because you know, because of your position, no one can deal with you. But when you say somebody has published something and then you are in court. So mine is that especially the elders of this country.
Right.
Sometimes when you look at it, and some of them are so disappointing. But coming back to the report again, you see, Johnny, let's not underrate those who are still in there trying to undo the IGP 4 months into election.
Well, but the police has denied that and said that it is not what people think that will exist. It is actually the IGP is still in charge, is working, etc. So I don't know where those fears are coming from. According to the police, they say nothing of the sort is happening.
Johnny, the police don't do their own appointment of IGP. The appointer is a president.
That's right.
Yes. So if the authority rests with the president and people come out and they are faking news and doing all this, the president, I believe, wants to hand over humbly and leave office, and there won't be any blood on his hands. So it would be good to hear from the president, and probably after here, you should call I'm not directing you, but I would humbly appeal to you to call the spokesperson on governance and security.
Okay.
Maybe let's hear his view. He's my colleague, Dr. Palgrave.
Right.
Let's hear from him. Yes, Boachi Dankwa.
Okay.
Let's hear from him. What is government position? But therefore, the police have come out because their IGP is still doing his work and all that. But mine is that, the president and his people should come out because 4 months. Johnny, I mean, the statute, the convention internationally is that a few months into elections, you don't tamper with any security architecture of your country.
So,
in
paragraph
US,
D.
When Trump was about leaving,
the
year Trump lost the election, he attempted to tamper with the structure of the U.S. security and all that. So they stopped him before it went to the Senate.
I see.
Behind the scene, they stopped him, but he can't. Can you imagine if he had done that? The coup he attempted to stage in the U.S. would have materialized. And so mine is that the convention internationally, you don't do that few months into elections.
I hear you. I hear you on that point.
To push this.
I hear you on that point. Now, paragraph D of the report in terms of the recommendations reads that as a corollary to the above and in relation to the appointment of the IGP, it is crucial to review or amend Article 2021 of the 1992 Constitution and the relevant statutes and subject the nominee to parliamentary approval in order to secure the political independence and legitimacy of the office of the IGP. This is important to protect the appointment process from perceptions of partisanship and political manipulation and ultimately preserve the sanctity of the appointment process. Before that, it says that the president, in exercising the power conferred on him to appoint the IGP under Article 2021 of the Constitution, ensures that the nomination and appointment process involves key actors and stakeholders in the security and intelligence sectors to be substantively consultative. The nomination and appointment process should also take into account the nominee's demonstrable political neutrality, proven high sense of patriotism and professional competence combined with impeccable professional experience. Therefore, in order to safeguard the sanctity and integrity of the nomination and appointment process for an IGP, the president should ensure that the process is devoid of politicization by power brokers. I'm sure they think about Abu Green, Abu political cronies and influence peddlers in order to engender the necessary public interest in the nominee IGP. You have said this. I've heard Richard Kumado say this. I've heard Dr. Norman say this. I've heard Dr. Kwesi Enin say this. I've heard Professor Vladimir Chidanso say this. I've heard so many of you say the same things. Now Parliament is telling us the same things. Will it work this time around?
Johnny, it has to work. And I think let's not also forget that there is a process at the Supreme Court for interpretation of these portions of the Constitution that you adequately quoted from the report.
Right.
My brother, Professor Kwesi Enin, is a plaintiff in that case, and Imani Ghana are also the other plaintiffs in that case. And it's at the court at the moment, asking for these interpretations, because when you look at, the relevant portions of the Constitution under the public service, the IGP's office comes under public service. But for some reasons, it looks like it has not been, maybe I don't want to go into the substance because these are sub judice, they are before the court.
Right.
And so I want to believe that these issues are in court. And so even the fact that this issue is in court makes it another layer where if there is supposed to be an interpretation and this thing is going through judicial process, why someone will still attempt to undermine the IGP and ask that the IGP should be removed. So yes, I think that answering you directly, I would say it's a good call by Parliament. If I want to believe that it is too short, maybe for the president to do anything, but if he's so minded, he can actually also put in, an amendment to, the Police Service Act and how the IGP is appointed, maybe before the ruling by the Supreme Court comes, to amend that portion so that when we have you see, in the case of Kenya, Ruto said a lot of bad things about his IGP, but he dare not sack the IGP because the IGP has a tenure of office 4 years. You can't sack him.
I see.
It doesn't matter how you think about him.
Now,
and so
we're getting
yes, go ahead.
we're getting towards an election. I mean, we're not far from the major election. In that tape that we heard, we had elements of the NPP, as I would call them, in uniform, with an MPP man not in uniform, suggests that there's going to be a plot first to take IGP Dampari out and also to win the election, that is to break the 8. So the sanctity of the elections, the perception of manipulation of the elections on the security front to influence the outcome, consolidate democratic gains for the NPP, etc., was there. Now, the committee in paragraph B of the recommendations are asking that the task force should put in place appropriate measures to prevent that perception in the public mind. What can they do?
Well, I think that it rests on the Speaker of Parliament. You know, the Speaker of Parliament is already doing engagement.
Right.
Recently, he met the EC chair. I think he's meeting chiefs. I'm told he traveled to the Ahafo region, Kachiman, and other places to meet the general public to discuss elections and whatever. So, and I think I heard him also say he's going to meet all the heads of security, including the EC chair, NCC, and all the people who matter, and especially you, the media, all the people who matter, to be able to put something in place to ensure that, there is proper, adequate transparency, adequate information, and devoid of, atrocities, violence, and all that. And you have heard him say that the military shouldn't be part of the election,
right,
the upcoming elections.
That's right.
And so, as far as I'm concerned, the Speaker is adequately placed. You know him and the way he will do his work in this manner. He does it so well, and he doesn't care once it is the truth. He will do it and do it well. I want to believe that the Speaker of Parliament, he has our support. He should put in place a mechanism to ensure that Parliament would have, apart from the MPs going to campaign, there will be some oversight. He will put in maybe an ad hoc task force that would play a role in doing the monitoring. We haven't seen that maybe since independence. Maybe we can put something in place so that all these things would be as layers to ensure that we have transparency in the upcoming elections, because then, Johnny, there is a lot, the gunpowder in the atmosphere is charged. And once it is charged, it just needs, excuse me to say, one silly person to, send a naked fire to it, and it will just go up. And that's not what we want. What we want is to have a peaceful Ghana, and get it improved so that all of us can stay here and play a role in the development of this country. So I think that the right steps are being put in place by Parliament through the Speaker, and they have our support. I'm sure the President is playing his role. The Vice President, who is the flag bearer of the MPP, JM himself is also playing his role. So I think that they should team up and do this for us.
Now, COP Alex Mensah has since retired from the service, and his name has been mentioned copiously in the report about perjury and other things that were captured in the tape. If punitive measures would have to be taken against him, what form would they take? Would he come back to the service? Educate us.
They bring you back to the service, Johnny. So for you, I'm not talking to a novice. You spent your time in the barracks, so your dad as a senior officer in the service. So they will usually, that's the convention, they will bring you back. Even if you are dead, they will hang your uniform, wear you all your ranks and your cap and hang it on the wall, and they will try it. And when they finish, if your family are minded, they will bring a lawyer to defend the uniform.
Right.
And once they are done, if you are clear, they clear you. If you are also convicted, you are summarily either dismissed, and then your rank is taken away, everything is taken, and then even in death, they will try you. The Second World War, First World War, officers were tried after they tried them when they died in war for desertion, because their bodies were not found, and it was told that they deserted in Viet Cong, in Vietnam, and other places.
Right.
Eventually, it came out that they didn't desert, they died. And so recently, one of them was, even though tried and dismissed in the service, the uniform tried and dismissed, was brought back again, and then this time around reinstated when it came out that, in fact, he did not desert. He actually was captured and killed. They brought him back, and the family were there for them to do the ceremony. And so, as far as I'm concerned, he committed a crime whilst in service.
Right.
So you are tried in service. And then whatever punishment it is given to you. The reason is that it's supposed to serve as a deterrent for other serving officers who might want to do the same. Or else I would wait, if I'm a military officer or police officer or fire or prison. Few months into my retirement, I go and commit armed robbery. Then when I am caught, I go on retirement, and then the case Yabutu die. They will bring you back and try you. So anyone who says that he cannot be brought back, maybe that person doesn't understand the history of security services all over the world, and Ghana is not different. They will bring him back, and they will try you. Whatever punishment that is supposed, commensurate to whatever you did, it will be meted out to you. So anybody who is saying that doesn't know what he's talking about. He committed the service months before he retired. So you will be punished like you are. You will be punished in service. That's what they do.
I see.
You'll be punished in service.
Right.
So let's not tickle ourselves and laugh. No, you'll be punished.
Let's look at the portion of the report, paragraph 12, that talks about contempt of Parliament. In this paragraph, we're only told about the flip-flopping of Superintendent JB and flip-flopping of Superintendent Asari. Subsequently, they've been referred to the Privileges Committee. Nothing of the sort for COP Alex Mensah, who also said on tape that, well, he is not a member of the MPP, he's just a sympathizer of the UP tradition. Subsequently, he will go and mention that he is a card-bearing member of the MPP. And we all saw how Lawyer Thatcher was preventing him from answering that question. Do you think the committee has been fair to the two officers? Because all three of them flip-flopped. How is it that only two are being held for contempt of Parliament and not all three of them?
I think that if maybe some of us citizens are minded, we can petition Parliament, because I don't speak for the committee and I don't speak for anybody. I speak, as a citizen who has a bit of knowledge in this area. What I would say is that maybe what he said out there is what when he now came back, when he now contradicted himself with regards to what he said at the committee and his public utterances, so he can win election. Maybe those testimonies were not given. So maybe what they should have done, the committee, was to invite him back again before finalizing their report, to put it to him and ask him, can you confirm that you said this or you said that? If he says yes or no, then they can add it. But we are citizens, Johnny. We can put a petition together and send it to Parliament and say, you know what, these two people lied, they were caught on oath, under oath. So for this other officer, he swore, but later went to the public and contradicted himself. So can you cite him again? Can you cite him too for perjury? I don't think it is conclusive. We can do that. And so as far as I'm concerned, we can always get Parliament. I don't know how that will work, but we can always petition Parliament and ask Parliament to look at that portion so that more maybe further punishment can be recommended on when it comes to him, Johnny.
I see. Now, I'll ask you again about this Privileges Committee thing. How soon do we expect that Parliament will act on this? Because there have been other instances, and for example, the latest I remember is Honorable Kwekwajima Menu in the Sputnik V bipartisan probe, where he said he was not thinking right. And then later he came to say that, oh, indeed, they bought the vaccines, we had paid for it, etc. We have not had that report. There has not been any conclusion on the matter, even though he was referred to the Privileges Committee and is still standing as it is. Do you trust that Parliament will this time around expedite action on this, their own report?
Oh, Johnny, you see, this has to do with our bread and butter issues. So, you know, when it has to do with elections, it's bread and butter. We are expecting that the Privileges Committee, when this is referred to them, they will, you know, swiftly act on it and let us know whatever it is. I think that looking at the bipartisan nature of this probe and the way they unanimously upheld whatever it was in the report and signed it off, I want to believe that the Privileges Committee would also deal with it swiftly, so that once again, those who didn't believe that Parliament, they were, you know, you and I are on a platform, there were people who said this police report will never come out, it will never come out, it's a waste of time, waste of human people's resources. Fine, it's come out. So let's give Parliament the benefit of the doubt. Let's believe that Parliament, the 8th Parliament, is the best Parliament that Ghanaians have ever had. So let's believe that they will do a good job, so that at the end of the day, whatever our aspirations are, that the Constitution, Article 1, that sovereignty resides in us, we will see it in our lifetime that since 1992, some people were referred to a Privileges Committee for scheming to undermine our security, sovereignty, and, you know, rig an election. And when they were cited for contempt of Parliament, they were punished. You know, the recommendation was to punish them, and they punished them, so that others who you go to Parliament and you go and swear an oath, be mindful that when you lie, this will be your fate. It will be in our books. So for me, let's give them the benefit of the doubt. I won't say they won't do a good job, because looking at what, you know, lawyer James Agaga and his team finally have presented to us, I think is the best that we will get, even though they seem to have not invited COP Alex Mensah, and they missed out the portion of Tiwa and this Commissioner Ernest Insia man. Apart from that, I think we can always make further recommendations, Johnny.
Adam, I'll let you go, but before you go, what lessons should people in uniform, beyond the police service, military, prisons, fire service, immigration, customs division of the GRA, those who are NIB officers, what should this mean to them? This report, the tape, the probe, what should it mean to them?
Well, you know, your dad was in the service, and I always refer to that. And I'm sure if you were very close to your dad, the position he occupied was a senior position. There will be people, my dad was in the service too. They will undermine you, Konkonsah, and they lie. All those who do that, so that they know that when you are doing that, be careful, because someone will record you, and this could be your fate. If you are doing that, know that today it is Alex Mensah, JB, and the Tiwas and the Asari and Co. Your time is yet to come. If they are listening to your station today, they should know that their time, if you've been lying, be careful. You are there not to occupy a position, but you are there to work. What they do is that they make it look like it is their birthright to occupy a certain position. No, you are there to work. You are not there to go and occupy the position of the finance department, or you want to be regional commander. If you get there and you are given, fine. If you are given, fine. You've seen others who have gone to court, and the court dismissed the application that they wanted that once they go to the university. You are not occupying this position, what you've been doing for the whole country. Right. Not media general. You are not occupying it because you finished, you have a master's in media. No. You are who you are before you might have acquired all these things. They polished you up. But someone shouldn't come today and say, I have a PhD in media. Therefore, they should give me the position Johnny is occupying, what he's been doing. No. You are there through merit. You are at 3 FM. A lot of people, the eyeballs have increased. Alfred and all of you, Alfred and Co. I am one of the persons who would usually engage Alfred when he started the night program. Something, Ghana Tonight.
Ghana Tonight, right.
Ghana Tonight is most watched. If I don't watch it, I can't sleep. I watch it every night. I don't miss it, even if I'm outside the country. So it tells you that it is not your qualification, but they had the audacity to go to court and say that, please, court, tell the IGP to let us go to what do you call it, college. When you know that most of you have gone and written the police promotion exams 10 times and you have failed. So what tells you that academic qualification? So for me, those doing the Konkonsah should stop. I think that is what I would say, or else will be caught.
Thank you. Dr. Adam BONAA is a security and safety analyst with Security Warehouse, and he joined us here on the phone line. We're always grateful, ever grateful. Helen, what did you pick quickly, and then we can go on to the 1st July conversation as we wrap up.
As you can see, my notepad is full. You were asking me, what am I furiously writing? But Dr. BONAA always comes with a wealth of resource. So just exactly as he has put it out for us. For me, the main takeaway, he says that some of the Konkonsah and the machinations in the background, we shouldn't think are a thing of the past. We have to be super vigilant, especially in this year of 2024.
Yeah.
Yes.
Great. We'll take a break. We'll return from this break. There's something special for you. Stay with us. We'll be right back. It's 9:44 a.m.
They're luckiest. Luck is everywhere.